My boss eliminated my position on a Friday afternoon in September. I was called into the conference room at 4:47 p.m., the coward's hour, when HR delivers bad news late enough that you can't make a scene, but early enough that they can still go home on time. Gerald Whitmore, CEO of Whitmore Digital Solutions, was sitting at the head of the table. Beside him was Patricia from HR, clutching a manila folder with the careful expression of someone who had done this many times before. "Vivian, thanks for joining us. Please, sit down." I sat. "I'll get right to the point. We're eliminating your position. Budget cuts. The company is restructuring, and we've had to make some difficult decisions." I looked at Gerald, the man I had worked for 8 years, the man whose company I had built from a struggling startup into a thriving tech firm, the man who had just told me I was being eliminated due to budget cuts. "I see," I said. "When is my last day?" Patricia slid a document across the table. "We're prepared to offer you 2 weeks severance, plus your unused vacation time. If you sign this release, we can process everything by..." 2 weeks? I've been here 8 years. Company policy is 1 week per year of service, up to a maximum of 2 weeks. Patricia's voice was flat, rehearsed. "It's standard." "Standard." Gerald cleared his throat. "I know this is difficult, Vivian. You've been a valuable member of the team, but sometimes tough choices have to be made for the health of the organization." I studied his face for any sign of guilt, any acknowledgement of what he was actually doing. There was nothing. "I understand," I said. "I'll clean out my desk this evening." Gerald looked surprised. He had expected an argument, a negotiation, maybe tears. "That's very professional of you." "I try to be." I signed the release, took my copy, walked out of the conference room. Behind me, I heard Gerald say to Patricia, "That went better than expected." He had no idea what he had just set in motion. My name is Vivian Okonkwo Richardson. I am 42 years old. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, the daughter of Nigerian immigrants who built a successful accounting practice from nothing. My parents taught me many things: how to work hard, how to be patient, how to recognize when people were using you. They also taught me the value of being irreplaceable. For 8 years, I had been the director of IT infrastructure at Whitmore Digital Solutions. I had built their entire technology ecosystem from scratch: the servers, the databases, the security protocols, the custom software that ran every aspect of their business. No one else understood those systems the way I did. No one else could maintain them. No one else knew the passwords, the workarounds, the hidden vulnerabilities that I had patched over years of dedicated work. Gerald thought he was eliminating a position. He was actually eliminating the only person who could keep his company running. I cleaned out my desk that evening. 8 years of work fit into 2 cardboard boxes, photos of my family, a few awards, the coffee mug my team had given me for my 5-year anniversary. As I packed, I made sure to take only what was mine: my personal files, my certifications, my contact information for vendors and clients who had become friends. I did not take anything proprietary. I did not delete anything. I did not sabotage any systems. I simply left. And I made sure to document everything I was leaving behind, including the fact that I was the only administrator with root access to their main software system, a custom-built platform that managed their entire client database, billing, and operations. The password to that system existed in exactly one place: my memory. And I was walking out the door. The following Monday, Gerald's daughter started work. I heard about it through former colleagues who reached out to express their outrage on my behalf. Can you believe it? The same day they let you go, they announced Ashley Whitmore was joining as Digital Operations Manager. Starting salary, $95,000. I did the math. I had been making $55,000 after 8 years. Budget cuts had eliminated my position at $55,000 and created a new position at $95,000 for the boss's daughter. The nepotism was brazen. The insult was clear. But I said nothing, did nothing. Just thanked my former colleagues for the information and continued my job search. The first call came 3 weeks after my departure. My phone rang at 9:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I didn't recognize the number. "Hello?" Vivian, this is Marcus from Whitmore Digital. We're having some issues with the client database. Ashley can't figure out how to access the admin panel. I'm sorry, Marcus. I don't work there anymore. I know, but we really need help. The system keeps asking for a master password, and nobody knows what it is. That would be because I was the only administrator with master access. The credentials were never shared with anyone else. Can you just tell me the password? I'll owe you one. I'm afraid I can't do that. Sharing proprietary access credentials after termination could create legal liability for me. I'm sure your new digital operations manager can figure it out. Ashley? She doesn't even know how to... He stopped himself. Is there anything you can do? I'm not an employee of Whitmore Digital anymore. If the company wants to engage my services, they'll need to contact me through proper channels. What does that mean? It means I'm available for consulting work, at my standard rates. There was a long pause. I'll pass that along. He hung up. I went back to watching television. The calls increased over the following weeks. 3 calls the first week, minor issues that apparently stumped Ashley Whitmore completely. 7 calls the second week, escalating problems as systems began to develop errors that accumulated without proper maintenance. 15 calls the third week, including several from clients who had been given my personal number by panicked Whitmore employees looking for someone who could actually help. I didn't answer most of them. When I did, I gave the same response. I was no longer an employee. I was available for consulting. They would need to contact me through proper channels. No one contacted me through proper channels. They kept hoping I would help for free, out of loyalty or guilt or some sense of obligation. I felt none of those things. The crash happened exactly 3 months after my termination. I was at home, enjoying a Saturday morning, when my phone began buzzing with an intensity I had never experienced. 89 calls in 4 hours. 89. Text messages filled my screen. Urgent. System down. Please call immediately. Vivian, this is Gerald. We need to talk. Everything is broken. Please help. I let them all go to voicemail. The voicemails were increasingly desperate. Vivian, it's Patricia from HR. The entire system crashed overnight. We can't access anything. No client data, no billing, no operations. Gerald is asking everyone to reach out to you. Please call back. Vivian, this is Ashley. I know we haven't met, but I really need your help. I don't understand what happened. Everything was working and then it just stopped. Please, I'm begging you. Vivian, this is Gerald. I don't know what you did, but you need to fix this immediately. Call me back now. I listened to that last one twice. I don't know what you did. He actually thought I had sabotaged his system, that I had planted some kind of time bomb to destroy his company. The reality was simpler and more damning. I had done nothing. The system crashed because no one had been maintaining it. No one had been applying security patches. No one had been monitoring the server health. No one had been doing any of the invisible work that kept the entire company running. For 3 months, they had been operating on borrowed time. That time had run out. I called Gerald back on Sunday afternoon. I had let him stew for 24 hours. Let him fully understand the extent of the catastrophe he was facing. Vivian, finally, we need you here immediately. The whole system is down. Clients are furious. We're losing thousands of dollars every hour. Good afternoon, Gerald. I understand you're experiencing some technical difficulties. Technical difficulties? Our entire company is shut down. Nothing works. Ashley has been trying to fix it for 24 hours, and she can't even access the basic diagnostics. That's unfortunate. Can you come in and help? Whatever happened between us, surely you're not going to let the company fail. Think about all the employees who depend on these jobs. I am thinking about them, which is why I'm prepared to offer my consulting services to resolve your issues. Consulting services? I'm no longer an employee of Whitmore Digital. However, I am available for contract work. My rate is $500 per hour, with a 40-hour minimum engagement. The silence on the other end was deafening. $500 an hour? That's insane. That's the market rate for emergency IT consulting from someone with my level of expertise and institutional knowledge, especially on a weekend. You want $20,000 to fix a system you built? I want $20,000 to fix a system you stopped maintaining when you eliminated my position due to budget cuts. The system didn't crash because of anything I did. It crashed because no one has been doing my job for 3 months. Ashley has been managing IT. Ashley has been collecting $95,000 a year to do a job she's not qualified for. That's not my problem. My problem is quoting a fair rate for my services. This is extortion. This is capitalism, Gerald. Supply and demand. You need something only I can provide. I'm naming my price. I'll find someone else. Someone who can crack the system without your help. You're welcome to try. But I designed that system specifically to be secure. Without the master credentials, which exist only in my memory, any external consultant will need to rebuild everything from scratch. That will take weeks, maybe months. How many clients will you lose by then? Another long silence. You planned this. You set us up to fail. I did nothing of the kind. I left your systems in perfect working order. I documented everything I could within the bounds of proprietary information. I offered to help during my transition period, and you declined because, and I quote, Ashley can handle it. I never said that. Patricia from HR has the email. Would you like me to forward it to your board of directors? The silence stretched longer this time. $20,000. 40 hours at $500 per hour. Payment in advance via wire transfer. Once the funds clear, I'll begin work immediately. This is robbery. This is the free market. Budget cuts are hard, aren't they? I heard him inhale sharply. What did you say? I said budget cuts are hard. You eliminated my position to save $55,000 a year. Now you're paying $20,000 for a weekend of my time. I hope the math makes sense to your board. You're enjoying this. I'm not enjoying anything, Gerald. I'm conducting business. Would you like to engage my services or not? A long, defeated exhale. Fine. Send me the wire transfer details. I'll email them within the hour. Once payment clears, I'll begin work. I estimate the system will be fully restored within 2 business days. 2 days? I thought you said 40 hours. 40 hours is the minimum engagement. The actual work will take less time. But you're paying for my expertise, Gerald, not just my hours. And my expertise is worth every penny you're about to spend. I hung up before he could respond. Then I smiled for the first time in 3 months. The wire transfer cleared Monday morning. $20,000 deposited into my business account. I had officially become a consultant. I drove to Whitmore Digital that afternoon. The office was chaos. Employees standing around helplessly, clients calling with complaints, Ashley Whitmore crying in her father's office. Gerald met me in the lobby. He looked like he had aged 10 years. Where do you need to set up? My old desk will be fine. Ashley is using that desk now. Then she can move temporarily. I need my workspace. He nodded and led me upstairs. The IT department was a disaster. Monitors flashing error messages. Servers overheating from 3 months of neglected maintenance. Cables tangled and unlabeled. What happened here? Ashley reorganized. She said your system was too complicated. I looked at the chaos and felt a strange mix of anger and vindication. She was right. It was complicated. Because the business is complicated. You can't simplify systems that manage complex operations. Can you fix it? I can fix it. But Gerald, I need you to understand something. What? This will happen again. Maybe not this exact failure, but something like it. Unless you have someone qualified managing these systems, you're building on sand. Are you offering to come back? I laughed. I couldn't help it. No, I'm not offering to come back. I'm telling you that you need to hire a real IT director, not your daughter, not a recent graduate looking for a title, a qualified professional with experience managing enterprise systems. Ashley is qualified. Ashley just cost you $20,000 because she couldn't maintain a system I built to be maintainable. She's not qualified. She's your daughter. There's a difference. Gerald's face reddened. I didn't hire you to lecture me. You hired me to fix your system. I'm doing that. The lecture is free. I sat down at my old desk. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do. I fixed the system in 18 hours. Not because it took that long, but because I wanted to be thorough. I didn't just restore functionality. I documented everything, created training materials, built fail-safe procedures that even Ashley could follow. I did this not out of kindness, but out of professionalism. I was a consultant now. My reputation depended on doing excellent work. When I was finished, I handed Gerald a flash drive. Everything you need is on there. System documentation, password recovery procedures, maintenance schedules, training guides. You're giving us this? I'm giving you the tools to maintain your own systems. What you do with them is your choice. Does this mean you'll work with us again if we need help? My consulting rate is $500 per hour. That won't change. And if we offered you your job back? With a significant raise? I looked at Gerald, the man who had eliminated my position to hire his unqualified daughter, who had called me an extortionist for naming a fair price, who had suggested I sabotaged his company rather than admit his own mistakes. "No, thank you," I said. "I've found that I prefer working for myself." I walked out of Whitmore Digital for the second time. This time I wasn't carrying boxes. I was carrying a check for $20,000 and the knowledge that I would never need their approval again. The aftermath was everything I could have hoped for. Gerald hired a real IT director, a qualified woman named Sandra, who reached out to me for advice during her onboarding. I helped her for free, professional courtesy between colleagues. Ashley Whitmore was reassigned to a marketing role that involved no actual responsibilities. She quit 3 months later to pursue other opportunities. Whitmore Digital survived, barely. They lost several major clients during the crisis, and their reputation took years to recover. And I built a consulting business. Word spread about what I had done, not the revenge part, but the expertise part. Companies started calling, asking if I could review their systems, identify vulnerabilities, create documentation. Within a year, Okonkwo IT Consulting had 3 employees and 6-figure revenue. Within 2 years, we had 12 employees and had expanded into cybersecurity advisory. By year 3, I was earning more in a month than I had made in a year at Whitmore Digital. My mother came to visit my office on the 3rd anniversary of my firing. She walked through the space, modern, professional, with my name on the door and a team that respected me. "Your father would be proud." "I know. He always said you were too smart to work for fools." He was right. It just took me a while to realize it. Sometimes we need to be pushed out of comfortable situations before we can see what we're capable of. Gerald Whitmore pushed me. And you pushed back, professionally, strategically. You didn't burn bridges. You built a new road. I thought about that Friday afternoon in September, 3 years ago, about cleaning out my desk quietly, about not fighting. I almost argued, almost begged for my job. But you didn't. No, I just left, and I waited. Patience is its own kind of power. My mother squeezed my hand. "Your father used to say, 'Don't fight battles you can win later with less effort. You won this battle by walking away and letting them destroy themselves.'" They didn't destroy themselves. They just learned what I was worth. Same thing, baby. Same thing. If this story resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and whether you've ever been undervalued until someone needed you desperately. Like and subscribe for more stories about patience, expertise, and the power of knowing your worth. We're eliminating your position, budget cuts. Then he hired his daughter at $40,000 more. I cleaned out my desk quietly. Didn't argue. Didn't fight. Just left. 3 months later, their entire system crashed. 89 calls in 4 hours. When I finally answered, I named my consulting fee. $500 per hour, 40-hour minimum. That's $20,000. I know. This is extortion. This is the market rate. We don't have that kind of budget, I smiled. Budget cuts are hard, aren't they? Then I hung up. They paid.